I just want to share this with you because it just suddenly came up when I came onto YouTube. It just came up in my feed, and at first I misunderstood it actually, and I thought it was this guy, Gray Hughes Investigates, who said this. I thought this was his opinion, but so I don't know who emailed him. So it says a crazy email. I didn't really take that bit in. What's embarrassing is that you actually believe the shite Brett Payne wrote in the PCA. A retired detective said he had 35 years experience and he'd never seen such a piece of shit of a PCA, I think that should say. Why are you taking Linda Lane video and pretending it's Koberger when no one can even see the car? Oh, well, that's true. I can see sweet FA from those videos. But to be fair, I am worse than other people. I know I'm not good at it. I'm not always good at picking out things that other people see, but sometimes I see things. But when somebody says, "Oh, can you see this?" Oh, like if it's one of those shapes and you've got to see it, the other shape, I definitely can't unless I immediately just see it myself, and then I really can't see it, or it takes a lot. And so, I couldn't see the people running. When I slowed everything down, I got it a bit better. But anyway, less about me. Stop talking about yourself all the time, for God's sakes. The car that Moscow PD believed was Koberger's is a 2017 Nissan Sentra. Now, that's interesting because at first they were looking for Nissan Sentras, and I can't remember where I read that. I read it in a news article. I don't know which one, but they were looking for Nissan Sentras to begin with. Why they changed, I do not know. Presumably they got some different footage and they saw an Elantra on it. But have they seen two cars then? Have they seen a Sentra and an Elantra and they've decided they're only interested in the Elantra? Or did they just make an assumption that it then wasn't a Sentra because this other footage, it looked like an Elantra, but maybe they were just two different cars? Don't know. Tinted windows, driven by Scott Clear Jr. and Emma Bailey. If you watched the Linda Lane videos 1 to 5 a.m, you would see many vehicles entering and signalling. Many vehicles. I didn't see many vehicles, but then, as I said, I did find it hard to make out much. 3 is a black truck that is there from 1 to 5. Is he saying there's 3 vehicles, or the third vehicle is a black truck that's there from 1 to 5 a.m? The timeline is actually 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. Zana was interrogated and attacked first. I'm just reading what somebody's written here. Okay, I'm not saying that I agree with this, or I don't know. I can't say that unless something's just impossible, I'm not going to say that I agree or disagree with it, because I don't know what happened. Ethan was attacked, but they didn't want to kill him. One thing I noticed, now, again, I'm looking at so much stuff that I cannot remember where I'm seeing stuff, and I am taking screenshots and things, but I just end up with loads of stuff. I don't know if I took a screenshot of this, but there was something that I saw, and it was like a death certificate or something. I wouldn't have thought it was the actual death certificate, and I didn't think the type looked like what would be on a death certificate, but it didn't say location of death, it said location of pronouncement of death. And I thought that was interesting because it sounded like I think you would normally, that in fact there's just not a category for that on a death certificate. So I was looking at death certificates in Idaho. I was trying to find one for Idaho, but I don't think I found anything very up to date. But I did see where you can order a death certificate, but that, I think it only let you put an address in, and for place of death, it didn't seem to have enough categories with that form, actually. I don't know how legitimate it was. If anybody knows what a death certificate is, I'm going to assume, this is a confusing thing, it varies from state to state, doesn't it? It's not going to be the same in each state. But if anybody, for some crazy reason, has a Idaho death certificate that they can redact and just show me the screenshot of the categories. Oh, how are you going to do that? Because you can't just, it's quite annoying that in the comments you can't put like a picture or anything. I might set up a group, and I'd be interested to know whether people would prefer a Facebook or a Reddit group, or some. Actually, it's going to have to be one of those, because I'm just not good. I feel like I've learnt my quota of new stuff. I've learnt my quota of new stuff, and I'm not prepared to learn anything else. And I use Reddit. Well, I haven't used Reddit or Facebook much lately, but I know how to use Reddit. I know how to use Facebook. I don't want to learn anything new, and I know that I might forget to. I'm very forgetful, and I'll completely forget that I've got. If I get a new app, I'll forget that I've even got it if it's not something that I use a lot or familiar with. So a Facebook or a Reddit group, and then if anybody ever wants to post anything, they can do, or like discuss a discussion group, or if anybody, so also if anybody can just find because I was trying to find one, and I didn't have the spoons for it. I haven't had much sleep, to be honest. I haven't had any sleep, to be completely honest. My son couldn't sleep last night, and so we ended up just staying up watching episodes of The Witcher all night. True story. And I also got bit by a snake last night, which is our snake. We've got a corn snake, and he's never bit me before. And I just got a bit too cocky and put my hand in. Like I've usually put a glove on, and I put my hand in to get his dish, and he bit me. But he didn't just bite me. I've got a couple of bites. And I just screamed in my head. I think I just had a snake hanging off and I just like screamed and shook my axe. He really I don't know if he thought I was actually one of the mice. Maybe his eyesight's getting poor or something. Or maybe I just thought, I always think he likes me because I feed him. He looks at me fondly, he really does. But maybe that's because he just thinks I look tasty. So, yeah, traumatising. But he's only little, to be fair. I'm just being a bit of a baby about it. So, yeah, I'm really off-piste, aren't I? Let's carry on with this. Ethan was attacked. It's not really appropriate for me to come to share a funny story in the middle of this. To be fair, I'm going to start again. I'm not going to carry on from where I was. If you watched, well, I'll start again on this screenshot. If you watched the Linda Lane videos 1 to 5 a.m, you would see many vehicles entering and signalling. As I said, I didn't see many. I thought there seemed like there were a few. I think he is saying there's about 3. Oh no, 3. That's supposed to say there, isn't it? There is a black truck that is there from 1 to 5 a.m. I'm intrigued by all this, but I really think you need to check your work afterwards before you post it. And that sounds very rude of me. It probably is, but I just think you should, because people take you more seriously if you if you get things. I'm going to shut up. I sound like an arsehole. I'm carrying on. The timeline is actually 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. Xana was interrogated and attacked first. Ethan was attacked, but they didn't want to kill him, so he lingered until finally killed at 4:15 a.m. Third. I just don't know if you'd hear that from outside. I reckon the third could have been somebody jumping off one of the roofs onto another roof, or jumping off a roof onto the top of a car. Maddie and Kaylee were last. The cleanup started and Moscow PD were there helping clean up, I think that should say. Well, I've wondered that, definitely. Or I've thought even they might have contacted for some reason, because I thought if there was a different situation, not this situation, if there was some other reason that they died and they had to cover up how they died, because the reason was something that was the responsibility, or it was due to negligence of the landlord, or something to do with them, I thought that Dylan may have called the landlords. She might even know them, and because the thing is, people often don't ring 999 first in situations. They might ring somebody they know first, because people are real hesitant about ringing emergency services. I mean, they are over here anyway, and so sometimes want somebody to say yes, ring them, or just want to speak to somebody else first. And sometimes you need a more adult, don't you? Even when you're 48 years old. And they might have been involved in the cleanup, but I did think that there was a cleanup situation. But then, what I don't get, if that was the case, right, is why, if it was MPD or if it was Scott Perky, why Dylan, because she would have to be then presumably aware of everything that's going on, why would she make a statement about somebody wearing a mask when actually they were wearing masks probably during the cleanup? It's almost like she's actually telling, or is it just leakage, like she's leaking information? I mean, it depends who interviewed her, really. Maybe she's deliberately trying to leak a little bit of information. I don't know who interviewed her, but presumably if she said that, I think it wasn't one of the people that was involved in the cleanup who interviewed her. I think it would have been somebody else then. But bushy eyebrows, where did that come from? We don't follow that stupid, I'm not saying obviously it came from, I'm not saying, just in case anybody thinks I'm saying bushy eyebrows, where did that come from? It must have been Brian Koberger. I'm not saying that. I genuinely want to know where did bushy eyebrows come from? I'm not saying that she's lying or anything either. It's a genuine question. Like, if it's dark, as apparently it was in the room, it wouldn't be that easy to see bushy eyebrows. I felt like it was a bit of she was trying to give an indication. She knew who it was, and she just knew that they had bushy eyebrows. She didn't even need to see them at that time that she was looking at the person. because she knew they had bushy eyebrows. Or maybe there wasn't a person with a mask, but there was a person that attacked them and that person did have bushy eyebrows. Or maybe she's just trying to point at another person with bushy eyebrows. Or the cleanup started and Moscow PD were there helping clean up. We don't follow that stupid car because it's not him. We know it's not Brian Koberger, and anyone with a brain knows he's not trained with a knife and they used machetes. I wouldn't be surprised if they used machetes. Seems likely. Natalie. So the person who sent the email is called Natalie, are they? So make of that what you will. I'm not sure what to think about it, but this person seems like they it seems like they do seem like they know something, to be fair. Whether they do or not, I don't know. But yeah, I just thought this was quite intriguing. I'm not putting it across as fact. I'm just sharing something that I saw, and obviously we have to take everything with a pinch of salt because we don't know what the sources are, and even if we did, we'd still have to take it with a pinch of salt. So just yeah, make of that what you will.